Ever wonder if there's a secret recipe for living a longer, happier life? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to dive into the science and uncover some surprisingly simple habits that can add years to your life, and, more importantly, add life to your years. So, let's get into it.
So this is it, right? This is the big question we're all trying to answer. How do we actually pull this off? Is it some kind of miracle cure, or maybe a super complex, expensive plan? Well, you might be surprised by the answer.
Because here's the secret, it isn't one big thing, it's 1,000 little things. The fantastic news is that a long life isn't just for a few lucky people. Nope. It's built on the small, consistent, and positive choices we make every single day. And this whole process, it actually starts deep, deep inside our own cells.
Okay, now this is where the science gets really, really cool. Think of telomeres like those little plastic tips on the end of your shoelaces, you know? They protect your chromosomes from fraying. Now, as we get older, they naturally get shorter. But, and get this is the amazing part, studies show that the right habits can actually protect and even lengthen them. We are literally talking about slowing down aging from the inside out.
So, where do we even begin with this cellular repair job? Well, our very first pillar is all about the people in your life. It turns out that who you spend your time with is a massive factor in how long and how well you're going to live. I absolutely love this idea. Seriously, forget all the complex policies, your friends could be the best investment you ever make for your health. Dozens of studies show this clear, undeniable link between strong social connections and a longer life. So that coffee you have with a friend, that's not just a break, it's actually a health-boosting activity. And as you can see here, this connection can take a lot of different forms. Researchers have found that married people often live longer, thanks to that social and emotional support. And in the same way, people who go to religious services regularly get the benefits of a strong community network. The key takeaway is this: it doesn't matter how you connect, just that you do. It's all about building that support system around you.
But here's a really vital detail. You've got to choose your friends wisely, because their habits, both the good and the bad, are totally contagious. Studies show that things like obesity can actually spread through social networks. But the great news is, so can quitting smoking. Surrounding yourself with people who have healthy lifestyles is one of the easiest ways to level up your own.
All right, let's move on to our second pillar, the fuel for your body. This is all about what you eat, how you move, and the smart choices you make to protect yourself for the long haul.
We've got two fantastic models from completely different parts of the world. First, the Mediterranean diet, with its focus on anti-inflammatory whole foods, is amazing at fighting things like heart disease and diabetes. Then you've got the people of Okinawa, Japan, traditionally one of the longest living groups on Earth. They thrive on a low-calorie, vegetable-heavy diet and have this brilliant habit. They eat only until they feel about 80% full. Now, if there is one single choice that directly fights aging, this is it. I mean, just look at these numbers. They're staggering. A 50-year study showed that if you quit smoking at age 30, you can get back a full decade of your life. But what's so powerful here is that it is never too late. Even quitting at 60 adds 3 more years. That's just incredible. And of course, fueling for a lifetime includes a few other non-negotiables. Just finding a way to move your body that you enjoy for about 2.5 hours a week makes a huge difference. If you're carrying extra weight, slimming down is a powerful way to protect against disease. And hey, let's not forget the simple stuff. Accidents are a major cause of death, but wearing a seatbelt literally cuts your risk in a car wreck in half. These are all choices that protect you day in and day out. Okay, let's move on to our third pillar. We've fueled the body, so now let's talk about the mind. Managing your stress, your emotions, and your sleep is just as important, and it has a direct effect on those telomeres we talked about earlier. How about this for a surprising fact? 37%. That's how much lower your risk of dying from heart disease is if you take regular naps compared to people who don't. Researchers think a little siesta helps keep stress hormones in check, you know, the ones that shorten our telomeres. So there you have it. Permission to nap, granted. Look, we can't avoid stress completely. That's just life. But we can absolutely learn how to manage it. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Simple things like deep breathing, meditation, or yoga, even if it's just for a few minutes a day, can make a world of difference in calming your nervous system and protecting your cells. You know, this one is so powerful. Holding on to a grudge doesn't just weigh you down mentally, it has real physical effects. Chronic anger is linked to heart disease and stroke. The act of forgiveness, of truly letting something go, can literally lower your blood pressure, slash your anxiety, and ease all that chronic stress. And this is a big one.
Do not skimp on sleep. Sleep is when your body does its repair work on a cellular level. Getting less than 5 hours a night can seriously increase your risk for all sorts of things, from obesity to heart disease, and can even shorten your life. You've got to make quality sleep a top priority.
And that brings us to our final pillar, the one that really ties everything else together. It's not just about how long you live, but why you're living.
Having a strong sense of purpose, a real reason to get out of bed in the morning, is a powerful predictor of a long life. Japanese researchers found that men with a clear purpose were less likely to die from a stroke or heart disease. Plus, being engaged in activities you find meaningful also lowers your risk of developing Alzheimer's. And this leads us to the one personality trait that's most linked to a long life: conscientiousness. An incredible 80-year study found that people who are thoughtful, responsible, and diligent simply live longer. And why is that? Well, it's because they naturally tend to make healthier choices, build stronger relationships, and have more successful careers.
So there you have it. It's not about one magic bullet. A long, happy life is built on these 4 pillars: strengthening our connections, properly fueling our bodies, building our inner resilience, and living with a real sense of purpose. Each one is a way to protect our health right down to our DNA.
Look, this isn't about overhauling your entire life overnight. It's just about starting small. So my question to you is, what's the one thing you can do today? Are you going to call a friend? Go for a 10-minute walk? Maybe just take 5 deep breaths. The journey to a longer, healthier life starts with that one single step. What's yours going to be?